Welcome everyone to the Miami Sports Vibes YouTube channel. Here discussing a Miami Dolphins Indianapolis Colts preview. My co-host Jacoby is not making it today. He has a couple things to take care of, but he will be back next week. Best believe that. He does send a hello to everyone. So don't worry, Jacoby will be back next week, but I have plenty of things to discuss, plenty of things to talk about. I mean, what a day in the NFL. You think that you're just going to breeze by just another week and kind of see how practices goes, maybe look at injury reports here and there as a Miami Dolphin fan. But listen, news breaks instantly with the New York Jets making a big move. So we're going to talk about those moves first because not one, but two division rivals made some moves today, and the Miami Dolphins made zero. Miami Dolphins are coming off a bye week, though. They have a big matchup here against the Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be a huge matchup for plenty of reasons that we're going to dive into. But let's talk about the trades first, with the first being the New York Jets. The New York Jets, obviously, picking up Davante Adams today following their loss to the Buffalo Bills. Jets are sending the Raiders a conditional third-round pick that can go to a second-round pick per Adam Schefter, and they will also be taking on Davante Adams' salary. It was later on mentioned that he is restructuring his deal, trying to make things work out, and then is going to have a discussion on his long-term success and his ability to stay with the New York Jets at the end of the season. Listen, man, that honestly surprised the hell out of me. I mean, did I think Davante Adams was going to be a Jet? Yes, I did. If there was anywhere that he was going to go, it was going to be the New York Jets. He had leverage. He was able to pick where he wanted to go. I believe he had a no trade clause. And we know, if you were around listening to any of the podcasts, when he was on Shannon Sharp's podcast and all these different media outlets, he said, if he was ever going to leave his situation in Vegas, it was going to be to play with his old buddy and Aaron Rodgers. So once he said that, and then you kind of see how the rumors were, it was like the worst kept secret. I mean, it was inevitable that he was going to be a New York Jet, but I just did not see it happening that fast. I mean, all of the news with the New York Jets, it's crazy. I mean, they went from, first of all, losing the first game to San Fran, bouncing back against Tennessee, beating the Patriots, 2-1 New York Jets. All the fans thought, they were the best thing ever because they beat the freaking New England Patriots. Then, a crap show against Denver. And then after that, playing against a tough defense yet again, losing. And then, Monday night happened, right? But before that, Saleh getting fired right before playing a game at home against the Buffalo Bills that can grant you first place. So you fire Saleh, you lose that game, and then a couple hours after you lose the game, you get Davante Adams in a trade. I mean, it is crazy. Now, the New York Jets definitely have a lot of things to I think that can be, we could take advantage of. They still have an inability to stop the run. They got penalized, I think, about like 12 times on Monday night. So there's a couple things that they need to clean up. But adding Davante Adams makes them a scary bunch, man, if healthy. Having Aaron Rodgers back there, having talented players like Breece Hall, even though he hasn't really had a season that you expected from Breece Hall. But yes, I mean, Monday night, you kind of saw him, start to get going. Obviously, new play caller there. Garrett Wilson obviously is a beast. Lazard is kind of, coming into his own. Rodgers obviously trusts him. And now they have a three-man punch with Adams, Wilson, Lazard, and then obviously having Breece Hall. I think the Jets are a team that you're going to have to watch out for. The good thing about it is they're 2-4. All right. We're 2-3 right now, potentially getting Tua back as soon as next week, which is big. So the Dolphins, if you're able to stay afloat and you're kind of right there with the New York Jets, you got to watch out for them. So obviously, if there is a blessing, it is the fact that this team just made this move. It's better that they made this move now at 2-4 than if they were 4-2. So you got to think about it that way. On the other hand, though, the Buffalo Bills, I mean, a team that is 4-2 where Josh Allen looks amazing. What is something that the Bills are lacking? Explosiveness from pass catchers. And what do? Ever since losing Stephon Diggs, you knew that was a need, and they went and got their guy. The Bills trading for Browns wide receiver Amari Cooper, sending a third-round pick in a swap. So Buffalo getting Amari Cooper and a sixth-round pick in 2025. Cleveland getting a third in 2025 and a 7th in 2026. Man, listen, the Bills, a team that I'm pretty much saying, yo, we can't even take down the Bills. I'm just going to give them the division. They have the crown. They deserve the crown. They've had it. Unless we go ahead and take it from them, I'm just going to punt and say that the Bills got the division. So I'm looking at wild card and I'm looking at second place. So we are trying to compete with the New York Jets. So I'm circling the New York Jets. You know, we got 2 games against them. You know, we play them well. They cannot beat us. We own them. And by that time, we're going to be fully healthy. So at that point, it's check ball. All right. New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins are going to be battling for a position come, when the playoffs arise. And that is how I feel. I still think the Miami Dolphins can save this season. But let's talk about that. I just wanted to discuss the news around before getting into our stuff. So let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. So obviously the bye week, Mike McDaniel spoke about the bye week. He said on the team's mindset following the bye week, this is from Finn's Extra, by the way, on Twitter, what has to be done in this bye week is the same thing that's had to be done the last 2 years. We have to, as coaches and players, collectively evolve and have our best football at the end of the year. Listen, I hope it's right. Mike McDaniel is the guy that says all the damn right things when it comes to the media, but show me. That's what I want to see. Show me what you're about. We need a better product on the field at the end of the day. Because the shit that we have seen over the last couple of weeks as Dolphin fans has been absolutely horrendous. Now, I did mention on last week's show, I said the Dolphins bye week came at a good time. Initially, I thought, damn, we're going to have a bye week 6. That's early as hell. I hate that. But you know what? The Miami Dolphins needed this bye week. They absolutely did. They were able to clean some stuff up. I hope that remains to be seen. And there were, obviously having Huntley as a starter, there were a lot of things that were alarming. Maybe now with an extra bye week, Mike McDaniel was able to show him a couple things. He was able to work on a couple of timing things and things that can make you put a better product out here coming off the bye week. Because this week is crucial. I mean, it is crucial. This week is huge. I'm not going to say that it is, you lose this game, the season is over. But if you want a nice, comfortable chance of making some noise this year, this game is almost a must-win opportunity. And the reason I'm saying that is because we got some other news, and that is that Tua Tagovailoa hasn't had any lingering symptoms from the concussion he suffered versus Buffalo, and a return to play in Week 8 versus the Arizona Cardinals is very much in play. Now, this might be news that we were all, you probably say, duh. Of course, that's, he's scheduled to come off IR. He was supposed to come back. Listen, the Dolphins haven't said this, all right? You hear these reports from Schefter, from Rappaport, from, your local people. But the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel have not said that Tua was going to come back. This actually came from Mike McDaniel. So for the first time, he has admitted that Tua is basically going to come back this season, which means I expect him, honestly, to be back and play against Arizona next week. With that being said, that is why this win right here is almost as close to a must win. Seeing that the Jets have added Devontae Adams and they're 2-4 right now. Obviously, they're going all in for it. I think 10 wins gets you in the playoffs. All right. You can hand 2 of the keys 2-4. Because look at the Jets. They're 2-4. But I don't like that. So I'm thinking that this is almost a must win. You hand 2 of the keys back. With an even record of 3-3 heading into Arizona at home, you have big potential to make some noise. Now, a lot of things have to happen, all right? Obviously, there might be some rust in there. Tua has not played a game since week 2. He's only played 7 quarters this NFL season. But I think that this team, if Tua comes back and he's able to stay on the field, you got to feel the same way. If you had optimism before, you have to have optimism. Now, the only thing that makes me cautious is will Tua be able to stay upright? Will Tua be able to throw the ball away, slide, get himself out of harm's way, and protect himself? That's the question for Dolphin fans. That's the questions for me. If Tua is able to do that, you got a shot. You got a shot. So I think Dolphin fans, after this bye week, I feel like this is what I needed because I was kind of going, in a dark hole. I'm sure there's plenty of Dolphin fans that are probably saying, yo, rebuild, throw this team for what? Rebuild for what? You got your starting quarterback coming back next week. Whether it's 2-4 or at 3-3, you're still gonna have a chance to go for it. Don't give up. Don't be a quitter. Like, don't. Like, what is that about, man? Get that punk stuff out of here. Go root for. You want to go quit? Go be a Panthers fan. Go be a Panthers fan, man. If you just want to just chuck it up and tank all the way, man. Like, no, you got guys in here. You bought guys in here. You bought Odell Beckham in here. You got Jalen Ramsey. You signed the extension for Tua, for McDaniel, for Tyreek Hill, for Jalen Waddle. Like, you got to go get that, man. Like, at the end of the day, Tua has an opportunity to come back into the mix with the Miami Dolphins with a record of 3-3. That's big time. That is big time. You would absolutely, that would be the best case scenario. But let's talk about this matchup against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Colts obviously have, a couple of injuries. You got Michael Pittman dealing with a back injury, all right? He played last week, but he was potentially going to go on IR. You got to watch out for him. He is an explosive wide receiver. Jonathan Taylor is questionable this week. He did not play the last two contests for the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, he's one of the best backs in the league. He's questionable. I think he gives it a go this week, so Dolphins definitely got to be ready. And then their quarterback, Anthony Richardson, who's missed the last 3 games, he is set to come back, as they said. So the head coach says that he revealed that he expects Anthony Richardson to return from injury and play against the Miami Dolphins. So, Dolphins definitely have a tough task on their hand if Anthony Richardson's going to be playing. Plenty of people might say, yo, Joe Flacco moves the ball better. I mean, and he's played good. Obviously, Flacco, he's been solid over the last 3 games as the Colts starter since he came in place of Richardson. He's got a 2-1 record. The dude has thrown over 700 yards, 7 touchdowns, and an interception. By the way, just 1 interception, 7 touchdowns, and over 700 passing yards in just 3 games. All right, so Flacco definitely is a guy. He's got that backup quarterback mentality, man, where he's just a gunslinger and he's playing with all the confidence in the world and the team just rallies around them. So Flacco has done his job. So there's been an argument. It's kind of swirling like, damn, they should keep Flacco. Listen, you can't do that. I mean, you drafted Anthony Richardson so damn high. You got to start him at quarterback if he's ready to go. And quite frankly, if you were to ask me who's scarier to play, I'm going to say Anthony Richardson because of his ability to run the ball. I mean, a quarterback that can throw and run is obviously, something to be scared of, especially if you're a Dolphins fan. Obviously, quarterbacks that run usually kill us, but Flacco has been solid. That's not a knock on Flacco, but Flacco's not doing anything special, man. He's just doing what he's supposed to do as a veteran QB in this league, man, at the end of the day. Anthony Richardson, though, has thrown 6 interceptions this season. His stat line reads it's actually worse than Flacco. Has 654 total passing yards, 3 touchdowns passing, 6 interceptions, though. All right. He has over 140 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown, but those 6 interceptions are alarming. So Richardson has not been off to the best start even before his injury. But obviously, it's a guy that the Colts are going to throw out there. They got to see what they have in him and just trust them, man. So this is how I think about it. Listen, the Colts are a team that can be beaten. All right. The Colts are not world beaters out here. Let's put that punk stuff aside where we think the Dolphins are definitely going to get smacked. What, get smacked by who? The Colts? I mean, come on, man. I get it. They're a solid team, but they're not world beaters out here. We got some talent on our side too. The Colts also have given up a lot of passing yards. All right. They're top 5 in passing yards given up in the league. They're giving up over 1.4K. All right. So 1,400 passing yards in this season so far. That ranks for the 5th most passing yards allowed. All right. Dolphins team that struggled to move the football passing ever since Tua's went down. Tyler Huntley now has a week of preparation, extra week of preparation with the bye week to kind of get things grooving. You kind of saw him make a connection with Tyreek Hill. Obviously not those 200-yard games where we saw Tyreek Hill have in the past, but a nice solid outing against the New England Patriots. I expect them to probably have worked on that connection. Probably going to hit Tyreek deep this game. I definitely see that. I really think that they have to had make some type of chemistry with the timing work with guys like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You did see Richardson go a lot to Jonnu Smith, so keep an eye on that. But here's what I think, man. The Colts have given up the most rushing yards to any team in the NFL this season. All right. So they've given up the most yards in the NFL this season. So what does that mean? The Miami Dolphins have to run the damn ball. And with that being said, I'm going to go with my 3 keys to victory. How do the Dolphins beat the Indianapolis Colts this Sunday? My 3 keys are simple, man. You heard me mention it. Number 1, the Colts are giving up the most yards to running backs. The most yards. What does that mean? Run the ball. Now, Mike McDaniel, listen, man. Listen. Can you just stop with the ego stuff? Like, put the ego aside. Stop getting fancy with the play calls. You do not need to do anything special here. Run the damn ball. Obviously, Achane has a concussion, though. He did practice today. He was in a red jersey, so no contact. He still has to go through a full practice to clear, so he's questionable for the game. But even if you don't have Devon Achane, Jalen Ray is coming off a huge game against the New England Patriots. Raheem Mostert coming back from injury. He had a huge game against the New England Patriots as well. Those 2 guys are capable of handling the load. If you have all 3, awesome. But even with those 2, Jalen Ray and Raheem Mostert showed you what they can do. And you can argue that they're the reason why you won that football game against the New England Patriots. So Mike McDaniel has to understand that he has to put the ego aside. I'm sure that he's probably made so many damn plays, in his playbook for Tyler Huntley this game, especially with that extra week of preparation with that bye. But you got to put that aside. Even if you could get Huntley running the ball, he didn't run against the New England Patriots, and he's known to be a runner. But running the ball against this Indianapolis Colts team is going to be the number 1 key to victory. Feeding Jalen Wright the ball, feeding Mostert, and getting Huntley into some action. I think that's going to be the number 1 key. This team, in every single loss that the Colts have had this season, they've given up over 125 rushing yards to the opposing team. So the opposing teams are taking advantage of their vulnerability against the run. I think the Dolphins absolutely have to do that if they want to win this game. That's the number 1 key. The number 2 key, it's plain and simple. If Anthony Richardson is starting this game, it is to contain Anthony Richardson. Obviously, he's coming off an injury. All right. Simple as that. You're not going to come off an injury and be 100%. All right. Going to be close to 100. He might be 90. He might be 95, but he's not 100%. Contain Anthony Richardson and limit him to just playing in the pocket. Don't make him a runner. All right. Contain Anthony Richardson the best you can. Take away his, opportunities to get outside and run. All right. Calais Campbell and Zach Sealer have had probably the 2 most impressive starts to the season out of any player on the Miami Dolphins. I expect them to bring pressure, but the outside guys have to be ready and contain Anthony Richardson. You don't want to make him a runner. In the losses where he's played, they have limited his carries to only rushing 6 times or less. All right. So if you can have Anthony Richardson only take off and run and attempt to run 6 times or less, I think that is a key to victory. I think that's another reason that's another way of you finishing to win this game. And then obviously number 3 is win the turnover battle. All right. Winning the turnover battle. Obviously, I mentioned Anthony Richardson, 6 interceptions this season. You can win this game on the defensive end. Anthony Weaver has done a phenomenal job as DC for the Miami Dolphins. You're coming off a bye week. We have fresher legs out there. The Colts haven't had a bye week. They've played 6 straight. We haven't played 6 straight. All right. So we have fresher legs. Win the turnover battle and capitalize. And another thing I want to note, there's another little key to victory. Don't beat yourself. What do I mean by that? You saw that Jets and Bills Monday night game. How many damn penalties did we see for the Jets? How many penalties did we see for Buffalo? Listen, don't beat yourself. Penalties will lose you a football game. Play a clean game of football. Limit penalties. I understand that sometimes coming off a bye week, there's just flags coming out left and right. Listen, stay disciplined. All right. Shake off the rust. Don't beat yourself. I think the Miami Dolphins can win this game. And for my scoring prediction, I actually do have the Dolphins winning this game 20-17. Plenty of people might say I'm crazy. Why would you pick the Dolphins after, what have they shown you lately? Have you not learned your lesson? Listen, I'm not a punk, man. It's as simple as that. I'm not a punk. I've had a bye week under the belt for me to now believe in this football team, and I think they understand the magnitude of this game. And it's as simple as that. That's part of what makes me believe in the Miami Dolphins for this game. Okay? You got to look ahead. It's hard not to. I expect Tua to play next week against Arizona. So you better go win this game. All right? You give Tua the keys back at a record of 3-3. Stay in second place because you know the Jets are knocking on the door. You know the New York Jets are knocking on the door. Get your team to 3-3. Hand the keys to Tua. Yo, whether Tua's rusty or whatever the case is, yo, we deal with that, man. Take it 1 week at a time. The opportunity and the mission is simple as this. Get to 3-3, get to 500 for QB1 and Tua to come back, and we go from there. We can then, talk about what happens, what shakes out. But at the end of the day, I want this team to get to 3-3. Like I said, it's not the end of the world if it's 2-4, but your backs are against the wall, and that's a lot of pressure. I don't want to go there. But if you think the Jets are a playoff team after this trade, they're 2-4. So you can't tell me if we lose this game is done. Because if you think they're alive, we're alive as well. But I don't want to get to that point. I want to be 3-3 because, in my opinion, I think you have to finish at least 10-7 to make it to the playoffs. So if we're 2-4, you only got 3 games to lose. Because if you lose 4 after that, then you're done. I'd rather have that extra wiggle room, especially against a team like the Indianapolis Colts, who at the end of the day are not healthy. Anthony Richardson's not 100%, even though he's coming back. Jonathan Taylor is questionable. He's not 100%. Michael Pittman is not 100%. He has a back injury. We have the better team on paper, even without our starting quarterback. I expect the Dolphins to do big things. I think they will win this game. I got my boys winning by 3. I think it's going to be a close game, but 20-17 Dolphins win. Let me know your scoring prediction. I will take a couple of your comments now. Sorry, I missed it. Nando says, wait, I missed it. Where is Jacoby? Jacoby is out today. He had to handle a couple things, but he will be back next week. So I had to go solo for the day. Had to go solo. That guy sounds like solid. Comment from IN. Hope the Dolphins took advantage to rewrite that playbook. Listen, I hope so too. I mean, how long? We haven't played, it feels like, 13 days? Got to make it simple, man. You got to make it simple. So I hope they do come out with some new things. And I heard they did. I heard they've been working a lot with their quarterback. So, but listen, it remains to be seen. You got to see what they put out, what product they put out on Sunday. Zell says, sup, what's going on, Zell? Listen, your New York Giants, my man, picking up a tough loss, man. Shout out to your New York Giants, though, my man. It says, Tua is a worthless player this season. Don't do that. Don't do that. At the end of the day, we are set up to potentially have Tua come back next week. Let's keep the vibes high. We had a bye week to recover. Let's kind of refresh. Let's kind of refresh. Tua is fried. Listen, that is a Jet fan talking. Zell says 26-17 Colts. That would be I don't see this Miami Dolphins team giving up 26 to the Colts, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, I would respect you saying the Colts winning, Zell. I will respect you saying the Colts winning. But for you to sit here and say that we're going to lose and give up 26 to the Indianapolis Colts, have you not seen this Dolphins defense? If there's anything that is working for the Dolphins this season, it is their defense. All right? Their interior line's been playing great. Their DBs have been solid. They're creating turnovers, and Anthony Weaver is doing a hell of a job defensively. I'm more shocked that you actually are giving us 17 points. That's what I'm shocked about. But no way we're giving up 26 points. I'll give you a Colts win, but definitely not doing that. Less 3 points and more touchdowns against the Colts could be a good start. Absolutely. I sure hope so. 31-10 Colts. God damn, you are out of your mind. 31 points we're going to give up to the Colts. Now, you got to be trolling. You got to be trolling, Nando. You got to be trolling, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is the comment of a fan of a team that has 4 losses right now. All right. This is a comment of a team of a Jet fan over here coming into my show saying that we're gonna give up 31 points to the Colts. Come on, man. That is disrespectful. We're not you guys now. All right. You guys are a team that could give up that many points, man. I mean, y'all can't even stop a run. You can't even stop a nosebleed out there. Oh, man. I'm just kidding, man. Zell says, yeah, Andrew Thomas out for the season 2. We are done. Yikes. Trouble for the New York Giants. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this will be it. Jacoby will be back next week. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please hit the thumbs up button to support the show. It helps me out a lot. I know plenty of you guys chiming in, supporting. I do appreciate that, but please hit the like button. And let's see if the Dolphins finally wake the hell up, or will it be another disappointing loss? Listen, either way, I think we're fine, but man, this is as close to a must win as possible, man. If you can get Tua back here with a record of 3-3, like I say, this roster is still talented as hell, man. There's plenty of time to make a turnaround, and that is because the Jets have not taken advantage. Nobody else in that division has taken advantage. The Bills were picking up losses. Yo, we got lucky, Dolphin fans. What are we going to do? We got a breath of fresh air. Are you going to take advantage of the opportunity? Because the Jets could have, the Jets could have been 6-0 or 5-1, and Buffalo could have been the same, and we would have definitely been done at that point. But listen, they gave us some hope. What you going to do with that hope? Just win. Just win, baby. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. So I have the Dolphins winning by 3 points. Listen, doesn't matter how many points, as long as it gets done. Let me know what you guys think on the comments if you are watching this video afterwards. Until then, go Dolphins. I'll see you guys next week, and thanks for tuning in.